Dallas Cowboys going to camp, and some getting ready to cash in. Mike Fisher, bags packed, and working on the understanding that while I think when we look at this roster, especially on offense, it's not hard to figure out who the starters are. There's not even that many position battles, really. Maybe there's 3 on offense. There's more on defense, and of course, we'll get to that over the course of the coming days. There are also, in my mind, 5 big opportunities to cha-ching, to cash in. Cowboys who are on expiring deals or who signed one-year deals to come here, in some cases to revitalize their careers, in some cases at the end. This is a stable business, the NFL, as long as you're one of the owners. But if you're a player, especially if you are in that churn the roster group, some coaches just like to churn the bottom of the roster. That's the way it is. Jerry Jones often says there's about a 30% turnover every year without having checked the numbers, because I bet you somebody handed him that number. I'll go with that. You've got injuries. That impacts job stability. You've got the salary cap. That impacts it greatly, which is in play in this conversation here. By the way, thank you for liking what we do here. Thank you for subscribing. Please do spread the word. Tell your friends in Cowboy Nation. Straight dope, no bullshit. Fish Report. And yes, coaches sometimes play favorites. We're looking at you, Randy Gregory situation. We're looking at you. Also impactful in change is the number of short-termers or one-year guys on a roster. And, you know, we're a brotherhood. We're all in this together, and we're all here to help each other, and all those things are lovely, and sometimes they're even true. But I've got, on average, about a 3.5-year career if I'm an NFL player. 3.5 years. So think about it. Even if I make the veterans minimum, or I get drafted, I make $600,000 a year, let's say, times 3.5. Take the taxes out. Thanks, Uncle Sam. And I am not set for life. I've got a good financial start, but I'm not set for life. So you can't blame any player for saying, I got to get what I can when I can. And by the way, I'm all for that, along with the team first and the brotherhood and the blah, blah. Cowboys have 5 guys, in my mind, who are cash-in candidates. They have 34 players right now. 1/3 of these guys, a little more than 1/3, are entering 2021 on expiring deals. So there's a lot of guys who are going to try to either use this as a financial springboard to get more money in Dallas, or use it as a career springboard to vault someplace else. Here in order, my 5 Cowboys going to camp who can cash in. Number 1, Randy Gregory. He's waited, and he's waited, and he's waited. And some of the wait, obviously, is his own fault. The fault of his behaviors, the fault of his choices, the fault of his demons, some of which he could not control. And you hope now that there is some level of control there. You hope for his sake, not just on a football level, but much deeper than that. But part of his wait is also due to the incompetence of the 2020 coaching staff, Mike McCarthy on down. That made him wait some more. If they let Randy Gregory play last year, the number of snaps that his talent and performance earned him, he might already have his contract. He might. Instead, incredibly, here we are all these years later, he's still playing on his rookie contract. And Gregory has done a good job in our conversations with him, his conversation with the media. Hey, I love myself. I love my family. I love the game. My teammates love me. I'm not really thinking about the contract, but he is. Because he must, and you would too. Somebody in 2022 is going to pay Randy Gregory, as long as in 2021 somebody on this coaching staff is smart enough to actually play him. Guy number 2, this one very much in the news, understandably so, the wide receiver Michael Gallup. Rookie contract, just about up now. Cowboys, you got all the benefit you could from him. You milked it all you could. And now it's time for a decision after this year contract expires. Makes just $2 million this year. And of course, as we've discussed a great deal, there's people inside this building who think that you put Michael Gallup on a different team and he's a #1 wide receiver. Maybe he'll get a chance to show that next year. The big decision here is, do you keep Amari Cooper after this year at $20 million a year, or do you say goodbye to him, eat the $6 million cap hit, and move on with a new deal for Michael Gallup? That might be a $12 million deal. Does that add up? You can obviously, conceivably, just keep the whole gang together, but now we're getting into that 30% turnover. Now we're getting into that salary cap stuff. And as it relates to Amari Cooper, I guess, we're getting into a little injury conversation as well. Guy number 3, Demonte Kz. And I don't see anybody else much, including him, on these kind of lists. People do love lists, says Chris Arnold. Former Falcon safety, really floating under the radar here, isn't he? Consider this. He's coming off the Achilles, and unlike some other guys, Malik Hooker, there's no issue there. He's fine. He was brought in to be a ball hawk, specifically, something that he's got a history of, proven, and this team desperately needs. There's a match. And he was brought here by the new defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, from Atlanta. Now, Dan Quinn can have other pets on defense. All coaches do. And another one of his pets might be another former Falcons defender, Kean O'Neill. But Kean O'Neill isn't even a starter yet. He's going to do something. He's going to play somewhere. He's going to have a role, but he's not a first-team player yet. We'll see when we get to Oxnard and they start rolling things out on Tuesday. But KZ, as soon as he grabbed the pen and some ink came squirting out of it, became the starting free safety. No competition, no arguments, not even close. It's his. As far as I can tell, he walked into the Star, signed his veterans minimum deal, and walked out of the meeting room a starter. Dallas wants him to be a revelation in 2021, and he wants the same thing. I don't think the league is highly familiar of Demonte Kz. In fact, I think I misspelled and mispronounced his name for the first week he was here. My bad. If he is a revelation, because we know what Dallas thinks about safeties, 2021 in Dallas becomes a contractual springboard for him, and away he goes. Number 4, Leighton Vander Esch. Cowboys declining his fifth-year option, declining to pick that up. That's an ominous sign. There's no argument there. That is an ominous sign. That is the Cowboys saying we don't trust the injury, because they certainly trust the talent. This is a Pro Bowl caliber player when he's healthy. And there's skepticism about that, and that's okay. It's understandable. That's happened. Again, nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. So everybody here is now kind of rolling the dice on the future. If he stays healthy for the first chunk of this season, I believe the Cowboys are going to go to him and offer him an extension now. And I believe he'll turn it down, because the healthier he stays and the better he plays, the more that he goes up and over being a $9 million a year linebacker. This is a Pro Bowler waiting to happen. And if it happens, likely with Dallas playing him at the will, Micah Parsons in the middle, I think the in-season contract offer will come. Vander Esch will have justification for saying no, and he'll seek even more elsewhere in 2022. And finally, guy number 5, Cowboy at camp, who can cash in? The left guard, Connor Williams. I know he is much maligned by some, and I think the biggest reason he's maligned is because his name's not Tyron and his name's not Zach. But he really is. Last time I said he's an Iron Man, like 1,000 of you commented below saying, what? But he shows up to work every day, practicing games, and then wins the job and keeps the job every day. I thought this was supposed to be competition year, competition off-season for Connor Williams. What happened? He was a starting left guard every day in OTAs at minicamp. We'll get to camp and we'll see. Maybe there is going to be a competition. Maybe somebody else will jump up. But he's been the guy all spring, and he's been the guy for the most part his entire career. Cowboys can't go spending wildly, Pro Bowl-y at every position. Left guard is a place where they have a little bit of a give, historically, guard. And I think somebody else is going to end up giving Connor Williams money next year. It'd be great to keep this gang together. First, they have to play well. They have to win together. But financially, they have to find a way to win individually as well. There is my Cowboy Cash In 5. Stick with us here. We will keep you abreast of Cowboys on the Bubble. And stick with us here. We'll tell you why, of the 3 big quarterbacks in the news, Sean Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, the Cowboys have it way better than the 3, making it true to say that, in a sense, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback of those 3. Fish, out.